Hey guys, this is week 40 of my series, 52 Weeks of Reaper, where every week for 52 weeks, I'll be releasing a new video focusing on a key feature in Reaper. So let's jump right in. So our topic and our focus for today will be on remote control in Reaper. So we're going to look at what that means, how well it's integrated and implemented. So right here we have this track. I'm going to check it out real quick, and then we'll get into the remote control setup. All right, so that's the basis of that. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to jump into the settings. So we're going to hit Control P, and we're going to go to close to the bottom here of your preferences window, and we'll see this section that says Control/OSC/web. That's where you want to be. I already have something set up here. I'm going to remove it so you guys can see me set it up from scratch. So now we have nothing. So we're going to come down here to add, hit add, and we're going to hit this drop down menu next to where it says control surface mode and go down to right here where it says web browser interface. Make sure this is checked here where it says run web server on port 8080. You can add a password if you need that security. I'm going to leave that blank. And for default interface, I'm going to select basic. Then I'm going to type in LT, something really simple, short for laptop, and I'm going to check use rc.reaper.fm. That is the Reaper server. Hit apply settings, and you should now have a URL. This URL is important. You can copy it and you can share it with someone if necessary, and you'll understand why in a second. So we're going to hit OK. That's all set. And now I should be able to jump on a device with a web browser. Your device has to be on the same network as the computer that you're trying to control. So right now my computer is hardwired to my home network, and my phone is on my Wi-Fi network. It is connected wirelessly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a web browser and show you guys what that looks like. So we're going to come here to the Brave browser, and I'm going to type in that URL, which is going to be rc for remote control .reaper.fm/LT for laptop. Hit OK. Now it's saying that I should bookmark this page, and it's also showing me the URL right there. You see on the screen here on my phone, it says the URL there, rc.reaper.fm/LT. So click on that link, and then it should launch. So now I have full remote control of this current session. If you notice up top, it's showing that it's playing, and I can hit stop. So let's listen real quick. I'm gonna tap stop. It stopped. Hit play. It starts playing. So let me go widescreen on the session again and do that again. So down here, you can see my play button, all that good stuff. It'll go red and the time is going to start running. So let's do that again. Play. And then I can hit stop and it stops. So we have record, we have abort record. It's showing you all the tracks here. We can arm tracks, so I can start going in and arming tracks. And if you notice, the tracks are being armed as I'm tapping and arming it on the phone. And I'm now unarming those tracks. So now the cool thing about this is we can actually get a different, more intricate look. So I'm going to go back on this computer, go to preferences again, Control P. I'm going to highlight this control option that I created now and go to edit it. I'm going to edit and I'm going to change the default interface to Fancier. And once I click on that, hit apply settings, hit OK, I can go back to my phone. I'm going to refresh that browser and we're going to get a fancier look with more control. So we have play, we have stop, we have record. You can turn the loop on and off. And let me zoom in down here so you can see that simultaneously as I'm doing it. So down here, let's get that tooltip out of the way. There we go. So play. Turn the loop on and off. And I'm just tapping my phone, tapping the options on the screen. I can arm tracks like I did before. Arm these tracks down here, that's on the screen, so you can see it happening. And if you notice, I have volume control, so I can go to the 808 track, just tap on it, and you see the fader. And notice I'm moving it here on the phone, and it's moving on the screen. We can undo that. There is a menu here. Hit this menu here. Opens up. We have undo, redo. We have metronome. We can turn that on. We could turn on the snapping. We can disengage clip if a track was clipping. And I'm not sure what this thing is right here, so I'm not going to act like I do. But let's turn up the keyboard level while it plays. So let's hit play. And then I could turn up that piano. You hear the click track. Let's undo that. And I'm doing it all from my phone. Let's turn off the click. So you guys get the point. So the cool thing about this is it is free. It is built into Reaper by default. Next cool thing is any device that is web enabled that has a browser, you can do that with it. So you could be on another laptop and control it remotely. You could be on any phone. Doesn't matter what phone it is. You can be on any tablet. As long as that tablet is on that network, you have web access and you have a web browser, you can put that URL in and you'll be able to control any session remotely. So this works great when I have to record myself and I go in my booth. I can stay in the booth. You can actually set up markers within your project, and the markers will show up definitely on this fancier screen. Let's do that real quick. So I'm gonna click add some markers here on the computer. So let's add one here at bar 9, 17, 25. And now when I put my playhead there, you see it now here, fully updated on the phone. You see the markers, and then you can actually tap to skip through the markers on these buttons here, the left and right play ahead buttons. So you can use that to skip through to the different markers quickly. If you notice up top, the numbers jumping. We're at bar 9, tap it again, bar 17. If I had put names on the markers, the names would show up here. Right now it says unnamed. Matter of fact, let's name the second marker on the computer. I think I might be able to label it in the remote control, but I never tested out. So let's call this verse. Hit OK. And then when we come back, let's refresh. I refresh the browser, and now on the phone, right there at marker number 2, it says verse. So you can set up preset markers for the different areas that you need to record. And then while you're in the booth, you can just jump to the different markers, start recording from there. Arm your track, hit record, all that good stuff. Turn the metronome on, turn it off. So that's a basic overview of the capability of this. If I had any sends, when I tap to expose the actual channel control, if I had a send there, you would see it. If I had a receive, you would see it, and you have controls for it. You can control the level of the sends, you'll be able to mute it, all that good stuff. So why is that important? Aside from just using it in that way to help you record and not have to leave the booth, you can also use it if you're recording multiple musicians or multiple singers or a combination of musicians and singers. So let's say you have some big fancy studio, you have the privilege and the space, and you have different record spaces or rooms. You can actually set up buses just for that purpose. So you could have one bus set up for the lead singer, and then you can send all the instruments to that bus, and then now the singer can go to that specific bus and control the send levels, controlling essentially their own mix and what they want to hear, how they want to hear it, how loud they want to hear the drums versus the piano and all that good stuff. And then you can have a keyboardist and a bass player and a drummer, and you have buses set up for them with all the tracks being fed into that, and then they will have the send levels for that channel that's labeled for the pianist, and he can go through and set up the levels how he wants to hear it by controlling the send levels going to his channel. Of course, to set that up, you would have to have an interface that has multiple outs, so you can do it that way and route it to a headphone amp and have it set up that way. But then now you would set up those bus and set the outputs of those bus to the corresponding outputs on your interface, so that now the individual artist has individual control over their mix and what they're hearing. There's also a metronome mode where it'll just be flashing on the screen. Let me see if I can show that really quickly. All right, so let's go in. I'm gonna go to preferences again, highlight this, and then go to edit once again. You're gonna hit edit, and for default interface, go to the drop-down menu and select click. You're gonna hit apply setting, hit OK, close that out. And then on my mobile device here, I'm gonna refresh the browser. And the interface should look different. I think this is it. And then when I play it in my DAW here on the computer, it's gonna take a while to sync up. There it is, it's not centered. I zoomed in. So I don't know how the sync looks on the screen, but it's actually in time. So it's giving you a visual flash and a number count. So this is one of the more niche cases. I don't see myself using that, but the option is there. You could check out some of the other looks that they have also and use cases. There's one called, I think, More Me. That one is more catered to what I was talking about with the different artists in different rooms, and you can set up specific mixes for them. And they have the option to blend it the way they want to. But with that, you definitely have to have an audio interface with multiple outs, because then you can send it out and assign it that way. That's why whenever I get medium to large interfaces, I need to have a certain amount of outs, because there's times where I'll need to utilize that functionality and I want to have that option. So that's pretty much it for the video, guys. This is remote control in Reaper. I think, once again, it's an amazing implementation. And this was put in within the version 5 cycle. And before you see the next version, they'll be doing incremental updates. And the incremental updates are not just very basic, they're actually pretty substantial. So this one was like about, I think, Reaper 5.5 or 5.7, around there, where they added this feature. It's free, it's well done. I remember a DAW that I used to use, not gonna call the name, but this DAW, I can really drag it because there's a lot of issues that I dealt with that DAW. And once again, this was another one. They had an app that did that. You had to download the app from your platform's app store. It supported Android, it supported iOS, and it was great. It wasn't as extensive as this, but it did the basic things. So I could stay in the booth and switch tracks, arm tracks, and record. I think you could add tracks, all that good stuff. But it just keeps me in the booth in front of the mic, and I can keep recording until I'm done. They did an update to the software, like a mid-cycle update to the DAW, and it just broke the app. And I'm trying to remember if the app was paid. I think the app was a one-time purchase. You had to purchase it. This was before the time of subscriptions. So it was a one-time pay app. It wasn't expensive, but you bought the app. Let's say it's $1.99 or $2.99, and then you want it to work. And they did an update to the DAW, broke the app. And I think I stayed with that DAW for another year and a half, and the app never worked. Don't know if it's working today. Don't know if it still exists, but it was an app. Whereas where Reaper implemented it, they implemented it as a web interface, so you can use it on any device. So even if you have an old phone or an old tablet, you can easily pull this up, open the web browser. As long as you have internet connection, and you just open up the web browser, put the URL in, do the setup like I showed you, and you will have web control of your session. So well implemented, well thought out. Once again, the developers in Reaper doing an amazing job. And that was one of the key reasons why I switched to Reaper, because that's an important part of my workflow. So that's it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching. And as always, you'll see me in the next video.